Hi, I'm Pav.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to the Top 10 of Anything podcast.
Let's start the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether it's the shriek of Godzilla, the stare of Medusa, or the durdum, of Jaws, movie monsters have given us nightmares since the birth of cinema. Dracula's fangs, Frankenstein's monster's neck bolts, even Gizmo the gremlin's little furry face has helped many a sleepless night. Here's Neil, our fact hunter, with 10 fascinating movie monster facts.
Thank you very much, Pav. So here we go. Let's get into some facts. Michael Myers' mask in Halloween is actually a William Shatner mask painted white. Look, I don't know quite what happened there. Nothing came out.
Did nothing come out again?
No.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, right, I'll just do it then. Fine.
Yeah, so next one. The T-Rex at the end of Jurassic World is the exact same one from the end of the original Jurassic Park, and the scars on the side are from its fights with the velociraptors in the first movie. Godzilla's iconic roar in its first 1954 movie was created using a leather glove coated in pine tar resin and rubbing it against the string of a double bass. Jabba the Hutt puppet was £2,000, took 3 months to build, 3 men to operate, and cost $500,000 to construct.
Wow!
The T-1000 evolving noise from Terminator 2 was made with a condom-covered microphone stuck into flour-water mixture.
Wow!
And the bolts in the monster's neck in Frankenstein 1931 are actual electrodes. One is positive and the other is negative.
Wow! I didn't mean to do it like that, sorry. Is that it?
No, we've got some more.
Oh, God, okay.
The Dementors from Harry Potter series were inspired by J.K. Rowling's bouts with clinical depression. I was waiting for the roar.
Oh, well, I just went it.
Well. Actor Tony Todd put actual bees in his mouth while filming a scene for Candyman.
Wow.
And the sharks built for the movie Jaws were collectively named Bruce, a tribute to Steven Spielberg's lawyer. Bruce the fish, friendly shark from Finding Nemo was also a reference to Jaws. And then for his role in The Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr.'s makeup took 6 hours to apply and 3 hours to remove. There you go. There we are. Some
well
facts
done. Thank you very much, Neil.
Consider.
Wonderful. Now, we are joined today by Josh and Alice from the Just Films and That podcast. Hello, guys.
Hello. Thank you so much for having us.
Well, you know, we thought if we want to talk movies, then let's get one of the best movie podcast guests hosts out there. Unfortunately, they were busy tonight. So we got
the
you.
next best thing.
Mark Kermode's a busy man.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
He
yes.
is a busy man. I have to say, I've been listening to your podcast and I do enjoy it. I really do.
Oh, thank you.
I haven't listened to Johnny Mnemonic yet, so I'm going to listen to that one tomorrow as we're recording this one, because this one will go out in a couple of weeks' time. So obviously movie buffs.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And any particular kinds of movies? Let's start with you, Alice.
I mean, I don't know. I like when I try and think about that, I've got such a broad spectrum of things I enjoy. Usually for me, if something's written well, then I'm just into it. Like if it's got a good script and the characters draw you in. My favorite film of all time is Terminator 2. And I love the big action things, especially kind of like the sort of late 80s, early 90s stuff, especially the ones that haven't aged too badly. But yeah, I don't know. Like I love sci-fi. I love if you can get a comedy right. I love good comedy. I love a musical. I really do. I love it all.
Oh,
boring
okay.
answer. I wish I could.
Is there
pick
no
one.
genre that you're not a particular fan of then?
Not a particular fan of. Interesting. I don't think there is, because if something's written well and if it's a good story, then I'm there. Like, whether it is action, sci-fi, horror, thriller. Actually, to be fair, I would usually avoid horror because I get scared really easily. Like a great big baby. So I don't know if it's because my dad introduced me to things like Alien, like The Shining, like those scary films when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And so I had a bit of a thing for a bit where I was like terrified of the dark and terrified of things like coming to take me away and stuff. So I don't know if that's just lasted, kind of hung up a bit more as I've got older. But yeah, no, I don't know. They're all good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, Josh.
Every time Alice mentions, it's not even the first time I've heard it. Every time Alice mentions the fact that she watched The Shining when she was 8, just makes me laugh because it just explains so much about how she is now.
Wow. Thanks, Josh.
She's terrified of twins, lifts, axes,
Liters
everything.
of blood pouring
Hotels.
towards me. Ugh.
Hotels, mountains, jumpers, beards, everything. So I again, I love pretty much every genre of film. I'm big into my comic book films. I do like my comic book films. I do like my sci-fi, Star Wars. Big Bond fan. So I'm looking forward to No Time to Die getting delayed again. Looking forward to that. Everything really. And there's not really a genre I don't like either.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Not really. I think when you're really into films, it's hard to say a favorite movie outside like. For nostalgia, if we're talking comic book films, it's The Dark Knight because I went to see it on my own. I was so excited. Outside of comic book films, things like I love Train Spotting, American Psycho. I was going to say V for Vendetta, but that's a comic book film. Pride is another one. Loads really. What about you guys?
Oh,
Well, I mean, I kind of like Star Wars a little bit.
Really?
Just a little bit. I'm pretty much saying I'm not a massive horror fan, I have to say, because I get bored with it. I get bored with the fact that you can sort of see when if it's a jump scare, you know, if somebody's at a near a mirror and it's slightly open, you know, when they close it, there'll be a jung and somebody will be in the mirror. And I like The Woman in Black was one that everybody raved about. And for some reason I thought, what a waste of time, because you knew when it was going to be a jump cut and a jump scare. And so I'm not a massive, although saying that, some of the 10 monsters that I've got tonight from, like you say, Alice, from my childhood that I've never really shook the fear even now. And I'm late 40s, early 50s.
I'm an age.
Yeah, I'm an age. Yeah, I'm
an adult man.
I am an adult man. Yeah, and it's weird how just doing the research for this and seeing the picture of some of those things sent a shiver down my spine, and that's from like 40 odd years ago. It's crazy. So yeah, so I Neil's got a bit more of a bit more of a taste to different kind of movies, haven't you, Neil?
yeah. I like a horror film, but I don't like your run-of-the-mill jump scares. You know, quiet, boo. I'm not a fan of that because it's boring. It's a ghost train ride. I like the psychological ones, you know, like your Martyrs, your Japanese horror, your French horror. French are doing very well at horror at the moment. So I'd say if you want to get into it, that's the horror you want to go and see. Disturb yourself for life. Why not?
They say it's good for emotional distress, don't they?
Yeah.
Films.
I just love a good horror
I
movie.
don't know. I wouldn't agree with
buy
that.
that for a second.
So if you are depressed, they say watch horror films because it shocks your body into something other than depression without you being able to choose it.
I mean, that makes sense, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like going on a roller coaster. Obviously, the idea of like being on a roller coaster, being like, oh, but like it sounds ridiculous, but apparently it's one of the things they say. Like watch horror films, go on roller coasters.
I have heard that before, but also I just love movies, any genre of movie. I'm open to anything. I'll try most things as long as it's got a good rating. And I even subject myself to the really shit movies as well, just to see if they are as bad as they say they are.
We do that sometimes on the podcast, don't we, Alice?
We do that a lot because I think I mean, I can't speak for Josh as well, but I do always I try to take a really optimistic like outlook on everything, and I do try and find the good in everything and see like, oh yeah, this was a bit naff, but maybe it was enjoyable or whatever. But yeah, we've covered some absolute shite on the podcast, but it's fun, right? It's fun. It just kind of, and that's the fun of it being kind of like underrated and underseen, is that literally means anything. Like that is, it's comedies, it's sci-fis, it's actions, like everything can fall under that umbrella.
Yeah,
been enjoying like watching the Nicolas Cage movies of recent. You see, I think they're mad as can be. And that new one he's got coming out, Pig, just looks amazing, doesn't it?
Just does whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's a crazy actor now, isn't he?
there's this other one as well. Is it Ghosts of the Underworld or something?
Like you said, Ghost Rider.
No. It's, and they'll have like during the trailer they'll have a quote from The Sun or something. This has got a quote from Nicolas Cage in the trailer. The best movie I've ever made. It's got on there. You think, hang on a minute, you're in the movie. You shouldn't be giving quotes. But another one. It looks another one that's completely mad. So right now we're here to talk about movie monsters. So when we came up with this, we sort of said we didn't want things like Hannibal Lecter, who was obviously a monster, but so I'm interested to see what everybody's got with this. So we'll start with everyone's top 10. Now, I believe, Josh and Alice, you've got a combined top 10, have you?
We have. We both did our own, and then we recorded last night, so we put our 10 together. And there was much arguing. We're not really speaking at the moment. But,
Okay.
This is just for you guys.
Oh,
civil.
This is
privileged.
This is make or break this for the podcast.
Okay, right. So we will start with your first, your number 10. Let's go with your number 10. So who's going to give us this one?
So our number 10 is, I was going to say, our number 10 is...
I think I should speak.
Is Alice's again.
Okay.
This was my choice. So number 10 is the Graboids from Tremors. So I love Tremors, one of my favorite kind of like cult sort of films. What I like about the Graboids is, and they do sort of touch on this in the film, is that you just don't expect them to be underground. Like when you see the carnage that they've left behind, like they're convinced like, oh my God, there's some like crazy axe murderer out here going around killing people. They have no inkling to kind of think, oh no, it's something that's coming up underground. And it's kind of weirdly like alien, but also prehistoric looking at the same time. And I don't think, I mean, I know there was tons and tons of sequels and I haven't seen them all, but I don't know if you ever get any resolution really about where they did come from. I don't think they ever really figure that out. So that's kind of nice and mysterious. Obviously you've got like the big mama Graboids that then have their like babies, I guess, that sort of come out of their mouths and stuff. And it's just horrifying. And some of the deaths that happen in that film are so gruesome. Like the couple that are in their car getting pulled underneath the sand. It's just kind of like this slow sort of, walk towards your doom kind of thing. And then kind of opposite to that, then you've got the guy who dehydrates to death on top of the massive pylon. I just thought they offered like a really diverse kind of range of deaths and of gore and of like hypotheses for these characters to try and figure out.
Yeah, and also had some of the greatest sort of pole vaulting ever seen in movies.
Yes.
Oh my God, I know.
Olympic level pole vaulting for people who've clearly never done it before.
Yeah. I saw it about a month ago for the first time in in decades. I mean, I've seen it.
All right, I thought you said first time ever.
No, and I was shocked at how gruesome it was. Do you know what I mean? But it is all like pretty much practical effects. Yeah. And I still believe that practical effects have a lot more clout than anything that's done with CG, no matter how good the CG is. I just think something like that. And I was really, really impressed. And it was like watching it for the first time because I had seen it for so long. That's a good one, and I didn't realize
hasn't dated at all, has it?
I forgot they were called Graboids, so that's I've learned some already with that, so that's good.
We used to call them worms in our household because my dad, the way we saw it was my dad sort of just taped it off the telly with a VHS, but he missed like the first 5 minutes, so we didn't actually know what the film was called.
Oh right.
So he just wrote worms on the VHS, and we were like, oh, can we watch Worms? Can we watch Worms? So I'm getting to into my early 20s going, have you seen this film Worms? And people are like, what the flip are you talking about? Sort of thing. It's like, oh no, it's Tremors and they're called Graboids. That's it. But yeah, it hasn't aged poorly at all, I didn't think.
No, and there's about 7, is there 6 or 7and
something like that. They were all pretty much direct to video, weren't they?
They're still making them, I think.
Are they?
Really?
I think they're still releasing them, yeah.
That's mad.
Imagine if it'd be
the second one.
If it'd be called Tremors 8 Worms. Imagine if
I'll be
we
like, oh my god, someone's bitten in my brain. It's you."
Tremors 9, Dad, can we watch Worms?
Yeah. Go on then, Neil. What's your number 10?
Audrey 2, Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Good choice.
What a great monster. What a great musical. What a great movie.
Great
It ticks all the right boxes. And yeah, Audrey 2. Who wouldn't want one of them sat in their front room?
Feed me, Seymour. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's a film I haven't seen. They're remaking that at the moment, aren't they?
They don't
Are
need to,
they?
but
Why?
hey,
I think so. Isn't Tom Spider-Man Tom Holland?
Holland.
Is supposed to-
Tom Holland.
I think
He's
so.
going to play
Nice.
Seymour, is he?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's a musical though. I think it's
Oh no.
I don't know. I could be wrong. There'll be
'Cause if
people.
have you seen the Roger Corman version with Jack Nicholson?
I haven't. No.
Yes, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. It needs to be the
No.
musical. The songs are too good not to be in it.
No.
Oh, I
Alice
love it.
Alice hasn't seen it because the video said plant on it.
Yeah. Shrubbery.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, can we watch Plant? I
Yeah.
have actually seen that because we did, when I was in high school, we did Little Shop of Horrors as one of our productions. And that was like the first one I was in. And
Oh,
yeah,
right.
I absolutely loved it. I thought the songs were absolutely banging.
Mm.
You were the plant or?
I was at the plant. No, I was like girl one who stands outside the shop or something like that.
Okay, right. I went for the Sarlacc, Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, are these all going to be
No, they're
Star
not.
Wars things?
No, I guarantee they're not. I guarantee they're not. No. Now, the thing is, when I was, so what was that? That came out in 83. So I was 14 when that came out. So way before I had anything to do with ladies or anything. So way before, way before. And I always thought that it looked like a butthole with teeth. That's what I thought it looked like. Then as I got older, I thought, no, that doesn't look like a butthole. That looks like something else with teeth. When I went to Galaxy's Edge a couple of years ago, they've got an actual full model of what the Sarlacc looks like. And it's actually this cute thing with little feet and little arms. It's just the mouth bit that's at the top. So I was really surprised that it's actually this cute little thing that will
That lives under the sand.
and digest
Just
you
exposes
over a
his
thousand.
hole.
Yeah, just digest you
Oh,
for a
a bit like
thousand.
the Graboids.
Yeah, they could be the same thing.
Maybe they're related.
They could well be. They could well be.
Worms too.
Worms too. Okay, number 9. Josh, is it you this time?
It is. So number 9 is Thanos. We
Ooh.
weren't sure. So like with ours, we weren't sure when we were planning it last night. We weren't sure like what is a monster, and then I suppose unless it's literally a person, it's pretty much anything goes, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Thanos isn't. He's a Titan. He's an alien. So we base this on sort of like personal preference and infamy and like kill count and stuff like that. So he would be higher, but I think the other ones that are higher than him are just so iconic. But I mean, he pretty much kills more than anyone else in any other film, right?
I think so.
Because like billions, trillions of living things. So
Half the universe, yeah.
yeah. So I think So we said Thanos, and I think what's a good thing about Thanos is his plan sort of like a lot of good movie villains sort of makes sense.
Yeah, morally
Yes.
ambiguous, really,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's like
Yes.
not necessarily
Yeah.
evil.
I mean,
No.
he could use the Infinity Stones to just double all the resources, but he doesn't. He just he decides to halve all
He
the
wants
people.
the peace and quiet.
Yeah.
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 And he wants to be in his little shack making soup.
Mm.
And, you know, that's a good one. I didn't even think of that, to be honest.
I just thought he just killed so many people.
Yeah. Yeah. What a bastard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
What a shit.
What an
Yeah.
absolute shit. Thanos, you shit. Okay, Neil, what's your number 9?
The Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth. The first time I saw him, he nearly made me take my breath away. I think just the whole thing when he sat there and then obviously uses his hands for his eyes, just that's a freaky image, isn't it? And it still holds up now. And Doug Jones, what a master of being a monster. There's
great.
the guy that you want to be your monster in your film. Yeah, creepy as. And then when he eats the fairies, oh yeah, that film I think it's just magical. Grown-up fairy tale, brilliant.
That's one of the gifts of Guillermo del Toro, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
the creature design in a lot of his films. Yeah, fans, Josh, Alice of
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro.
Haven't seen it. Oh, Gilberto
Oh.
Toro, I don't mind, but I haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth. No.
You need to see Pan's
I
Labyrinth.
know. People keep telling me. I know it's up there with like one of the greatest of all time.
So I like him as well. So I almost picked the Fishman,
Right.
but he just got picked to the post by the other ones we picked. But he was maybe he's an honorable mention. The Fishman.
Yeah.
He's another
Fishman from Hellboy or the Fishman from
Shape of Water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, either, I suppose.
Yeah.
Men.
Right. So my number 9 is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. Mainly because he's one of those ones that you sort of really feel sorry for when they start firing their proton packs at him. You think, oh, poor little. And then he looks really angry at one point. And I think, oh, no, he's a bit of a shit as well. And then the fact that all that lovely, warm, gooey marshmallow everywhere. Oh, wouldn't that be lovely? Just to be there and having it all dripping all over you. And like you just get some digestive biscuits or some chocolate and make some s'mores or whatever they are.
The police are trying to keep everyone back. No! Let me at him.
And I'm going, hang on.
I don't mind going out like this.
Yeah.
Be like a marshmallow bukkake, isn't it?
It would. But it would be all like it'd be nice and crispy on the outside, wouldn't it? Because of the heat and lovely gooey on the inside. And that's another one of my little kinks. But let's not talk about that. Anyway, number 8, Alice.
So we've gone. We couldn't choose between the two. This is one where we nearly fell out about. But basically, monster sharks. So we're thinking Jaws, but we're also thinking the sharks from Deep Blue Sea. Because I think there's something quite formidable about those because they've been enhanced and they have this sort of extra intelligence and they can, recognize guns and swim backwards. And it's like, oh, and it's like they've got a plan and they're all working together and stuff. But obviously the Jaws shark, like one of the most iconic, like sort of started that kind of whole narrative of, the kind of fear of the sort of the deep water and what might get you if you, just go paddling in the sea or whatever. So yeah, and both terrifying as well. I've said to Josh before, but I'm like pretty scared of like deep water and stuff and just kind of being in the sea. But again, because I think I watched Jaws so young, so now I'm just convinced every time I go in the water, it's like, nah, I'm gonna get eaten. I can't go. Even if I'm on the beach in North Wales, I'm like, nah, Great White's going to come get me. I can't go in. I think that definitely gets points for having such a lasting effect, I suppose.
You say movie sharks. What about the ones from Sharknado?
I was going to say the same thing.
I haven't seen it, sadly.
No, you're all right on that one then. Yeah,
we're not missing out.
I don't know. Sharknado 3.
It's quite a difficult plot to get your head around, Alice. So it's a tornado, and it's sharks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
And isn't Steve Guttenberg in one of them or a couple of them?
I don't.
I've only seen Monster Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
Oh,
I think that's the only one I've seen of those.
And that's the one with Debbie Gibson in, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, there was Sharktopus, of course. It was half
Yeah.
octopus. That one. I think that's the one that with Steve Guttenberg, maybe.
Oh yeah, it is actually because that's our friend Ralph in it, isn't it?
That is our friend Ralph. Well, ex-friend Ralph.
Sharks.
Oh, many monster sharks. Yes. Right. Neil, what's your number 8?
The Xenomorph, Alien. He's quite high up there, I know, and I know he's an iconic monster, but brilliant in Alien and Aliens, and then slightly diluted when you see the rest of the sequels. I think lost its way a little bit, but what a classic movie monster. Geiger, isn't it?
H.R. Geiger, yeah. I can't believe that it's only number 8 for you, Neil.
I know it was tough, but then I had to go with what I felt more iconic.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, right. My number 8 is Talos from Jason and the Argonauts.
Ooh.
This is the big metal man. Now, this absolutely fucking petrified me as a kid, and not just him, but the way that he dies as well. That Jason like unscrews this plate on the back of his foot, and all this air comes out, and he just falls down. But it was the Ray Harryhausen thing. It's the stop motion animation, which, for the first, when was it? Well, Clash of the Titans as well, which I'll mention a little bit later. But it's just something about, even now, again, watching it now, it looks a little bit ropey, and against CG, it looks a little bit sort of, obviously dated, because you've got guys doing, sort of poking at nothing with a spear or whatever. But there was something about the design of that. It was just petrified me as a kid. I don't know if Alice, have you seen Jason and the Argonauts?
I
No.
haven't seen it. Sorry, I feel like I
Okay.
haven't seen lots of things you've mentioned. I'm not being a very good guest. Am
No,
I?
no, no. That's probably because I'm like probably 30 years older than you. So it's sort of like, you know. Josh,
But then Harryhausen was a staple of our diet growing up. I mean,
absolutely.
you always wanted to watch one of his movies.
Yeah, whether it's Sinbad or Jason and the Argonauts, whatever. Josh, have you come across Talos?
Yeah, standard Sunday afternoon film, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Classic. It's same with it's a standard like Christmas Day film.
Yeah.
Which no matter how long it goes on, your dad insists it's still good.
Yes.
It's that sort of film, isn't it?
Yeah, because
Like-
the acting's not fantastic in it. It's 1963, so the special effects aren't amazing.
No.
But when you're, I don't know when I would have seen that. I would have seen that when I was 6, 7, 8. The scene where they're fighting the skeletons,
Yeah.
unbelievable. Even now, you look at it and you think, how did they do that? You know, it's just painstaking.
Absolute classic.
Harryhausen's the king, right? He's like
Absolutely.
Godfather.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Is it you next, Josh, for your number 7?
Yeah.
Go on then.
So number 7, we have put the Xenomorph as well.
Ooh.
So slightly higher up than Neil put it. But yeah, I mean, Xenomorph, the alien from Aliens, the Queen Alien, all of them. Iconic look, you know, a franchise that went from horror to sci-fi to no one really knows, back again, you know. It's
The worst thing they ever did was
Iconic.
CGI them.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just ruined it. Completely ruined it.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of the recent Alien films. I've only seen the old ones, but I was never really bothered on like watching Prometheus and whatever the one that came after it was. Covenant, is it?
Alien
Covenant.
yeah.
Covenant, yeah.
I don't know.
They're okay, but again, it's this thing of retreading or telling you the story before the first film again. Do you really need to know all that? I'd rather know what goes on afterwards. But
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the Xenomorph, classic, I think.
okay, have you seen Alien, Alice?
I have seen that
Oh,
one. Yeah.
yay!
That was one of the first films my dad showed me just to kind of, just to freak me out.
The day they brought her home from the hospital, that one.
That was
Just popped it on.
Yeah. Like, here
A
you
christening
go.
film.
Yes, a beautiful film about a mother and her tiny precious baby.
yeah,
In a way.
in a way. Oh dear. Right, Neil, what's your number 7?
King Kong, the 1930s King Kong. Basically, like you were with your childhood, I used to watch King Kong loads. I always remember the top loading video we recorded it on a school holiday at like 10 o'clock in the morning on BBC Two, and it became a store of watching. And I know a lot of people say, oh, but it looks awful and it looks this, but it's iconic, isn't it? And and moving as anything. To me, the 1930s one, they've never recreated the beauty of that movie in all of the remakes, especially Peter Jackson's Overlong.
That's
Sake.
And
terrible.
it's strange because it's at least 15 hours long, that film. Well, that's what it felt like when I watched it. So how they couldn't get it to be emotional, I don't know.
no.
No. But yeah, just again, an iconic movie monster, but also a brilliant movie. Brilliant movie.
I like how they sort of turn it on its head as well, because obviously we are, us as humans are now the apex predator. And then it's like, oh no, actually go back a step, but then make him about 60 feet tall. It's kind of quite terrifying, isn't it? Because it's like just he's like a different level of intelligence and a different level of strength. Yeah.
I didn't mind the Skull Island movie. I haven't watched any of that Godzilla versus Kong yet, but Skull Island was okay.
Is that like it's got like Vietnam vibes? Is that got Tom Hiddleston in it?
Yeah.
Tommy Hiddleston.
Yeah, it's it was that David Gordon Green or whatever directed it, didn't he? He's an independent director of movies, and they gave you like a homage to like Cannibal Holocaust in there when the post goes through the guy, and it's the leg and all of that. It's for movie nerds. It's quite a geek out in that one.
Great cast in that movie as well.
Yeah.
John C.
Brie
Riley.
Larson.
Brie Larson, yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson. A lot of Marvel.
King Kong's in it. King Kong's in it as well.
Oh yeah.
That's the one. Okay, my number 7 is The Werewolf from American Werewolf in London. 1981. Now, this was one of those movies where you had to take the rough with the smooth as a 12-year-old. You had to put up with all the horror, people getting their throats slit, and the guy. just to see a little bit of booby, because there's a little bit of booby in it, and and it's that kind of thing. Whereas kids of today, you got no idea. You can log on and watch whatever you want these days. Back in 1981, you took it where you could find it, and if it meant you had to watch, these SS kind of monsters coming into somebody and shooting all these people, or a werewolf physically changing, like a man changing into a werewolf in front of your face, just to see a little bit of Jenny Agutter. I mean, that's what you had to do. I'm coming over as a right
I was just thinking, did you ever watch Eurotrash?
All the time, yeah.
That's because that's a sort of similar thing. It's like, oh yeah, this is like porn for 16-year-olds in the 90s sort of thing, isn't it?
And I don't know if you two guys are too young, but I don't know whether Neil can remember this, but Channel 4 used to show movies that had a red triangle in the corner.
The whole red triangle.
The whole red, and I can remember sitting up at like midnight on a Friday night to watch the red triangle movie, and like it'd be just some angry French guy running around or something, and you wouldn't understand what it was. And what a waste of an hour and a half that was. Some of them used to be okay, but yeah. Nowadays, kids, you can just log on and watch what you want.
Anything.
Absolutely anything. Anyway, number 6. Alice, is it you this time?
It is. So number 6, we went for the Darth Maul looking guy from Insidious.
Oh yeah.
Oh right.
So I said before that I haven't been exposed to that many horror films, but for some reason we went to go and see this in the cinema. I think it was a case of it was a Saturday or whatever, and we were like, right, want to go to the cinema, got there, and it's like, well, what's on? It's like, oh, not much, let's just watch Insidious. So we start watching Insidious, and literally 5 minutes in, I'm like, this is a bad idea. I am going to hate every single thing. I spent most of the film like this. I am such a wuss. I don't know why. I did film studies as well, so it's like, I know that it's all pretend, but it still just freaks me the fuck out. And then when you first see his face, and obviously the mum and dad of the family or whatever are having a conversation in the kitchen, and then his little creepy head just kind of pops around behind the back of it. I was like, ah! Oh my God. And that was it then. I was just petrified for the rest of the film, like literally watching it like this. Oh my God. But yeah, so he had to go sort of quite high on the list because of the physical reaction that I had to him when I saw him.
Wow. See that, because I get Insidious and what's the other ones? The Conjuring. I get those two mixed up.
Yeah, there's a few of them that they all come out at the same time, and it was basically all the same thing. It was like, what if your house was haunted?
Yeah, so which one's Insidious? Which one's that?
I think
that's the one without the family, isn't it?
Is that got the nun? Was the nun the?
No, that's the Conjuring.
Oh, see what I mean? I'm all over the place with that already.
I can't remember her name now off the top of my head. Is it Rose Byrne who's in Bridesmaids?
Is it Wilson?
Right, but Patrick Wilson's in the Conjuring as well. That's why I get mixed up. Yeah. Rose Byrne. Right. Okay. Yeah, I know the one.
I think she is. I think she's the mom. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch that. I haven't seen that film.
I call them horror films for beginners.
Yeah, definitely.
Learn a driver, horror film.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you watch it at a cinema, you're in a dark room.
Yeah.
So that, if you're at home, you can have every light on, and at least that's sort of like a protection. Whereas, watching a horror film in a cinema, that's some scary shit. That is,
especially if you're on your own.
It's pretty intense.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, that is pretty intense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Neil, you're number 6.
Medusa from Clash of the Titans 1981. Harryhausen again. Same thing as you, Pav. I was scared to death of it when I was little. That bit when they first went, the 3-headed dog, they fought and got into the whole palace and finding everybody turned to stone. And I first saw her, I remember my dad taking me to see it, and it absolutely shit me up, Medusa. And I still think it holds up now, that look. And did you see the remake with Sam Worthington?
I did, yeah.
What did they do? What did they do wrong? Everything, didn't they?
They cast Sam Worthington.
Yeah, well, there is that.
But the thing about that Clash of the Titans is also it's got that it's just this side of being slightly camp as well, which I think is what's good about it.
That's right. But think of the cast in that Clash of the Titans with Laurence Olivier and all of those, and then Harry Hamlin. What a career he had after that.
The remake of Clash of the Titans, that was like that period where they were just going, remake an old film, make it grey. Yes, remake an old film, make it grey. That's what will get people in the cinema.
Yeah.
And then thank God we're out of that now, because I'm so sick of it. We did Terminator Salvation a few weeks ago, didn't we? And that was another one, except the grey sort of works because of the setting. But my God, there's so many grey films from around then.
And with Sam Worthington again.
Sam Worthington, yeah.
They were really pushing Sam Worthington as like, this is the next Hollywood superstar. Everybody love him because he's in every big movie, so everybody watch him. And I listened to your episode of Terminator Salvation, and I must admit, I remember watching that movie and sort of thinking, what an opportunity they had there. And it didn't quite work for me. But
yeah.
Well, Josh, you said, didn't you?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Josh said like Sam Worthington, like he was like the hottest shit for about 18 months.
Yeah.
And then just kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And then he'll be back again with all 5 Avatar sequels.
Yeah. And he was gonna be James Bond. He was gonna be, it was all these other rumors, wasn't there? But I mean, look, he isn't a bad actor. It's just, it's just one of them where I get the impression that Cameron found him for Avatar because he wanted an unknown. And then spent all that money on Avatar and sort of went round all the directors going, will you put him in so that people know who he is?
Yeah.
And then everyone come and see my film, and somehow it'll be the biggest grossing film of all time, even though no one knows anything about it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And funnily enough, my number 6 is Medusa from Clash of the Titans.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because exactly the same. I love that film.
Yeah.
Because it was apart from one of the reasons I loved it was because what was his name? Perseus, wasn't it? That was who Harry Hamlin.
Yeah.
He got given these great gifts. He got given like I think he got given a cloak. He got given a sword, and he got given a shield, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, he got some really cool gifts. He got given from, I think, Zeus, probably. That was his dad, wasn't it? But Medusa, again, that bit when her eyes just shine, it just freaks you the fuck out.
And you must have loved it for the nudity in that movie as well, because for a PG, there's quite a bit, isn't there?
I can't say I noticed, Neil. I was too busy looking at the amazing Harryhausen animation.
Let's just do top 10 naked pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, that will be a top 10 we'll do. Don't worry. If you want to come back for that one, Josh,
absolutely.
You can come back for that one, no problem. Right. Josh, give us your number 5.
Number 5 is King Kong for us. One of the first ones that popped into my head when I was doing my list of like, one of the big daddies of movie monsters. So we put him in here. I might have put him a bit higher. Alice, I don't think you were too bothered, were you really? But yeah, I mean, a monster that has been done and regardless of the quality of the film, there are bad King Kong films where King Kong is still quite impressive. So I think that's really something like it's got a legacy to it, hasn't it? Whether it's the 30s, the one from the 80s, the Peter Jackson one, the more recent ones, all of them. I mean, he gets bigger and bigger. Like, I think he's about 1,000 feet tall or something. To the point where he doesn't even climb up the Empire State Building because he's just taller than it. But no, always good to see King Kong, I think.
Yeah, the thing is, they obviously had the whole monster universe in mind, didn't they? Because they had to make him massive to be able to fight against Godzilla. Because if he's just somebody that, well, I don't know, how big is he supposed to be? 80 foot? I think you said, Alice.
Pretty damn big.
Yeah.
Huge.
We'll do that. We'll put that on the just make him pretty damn big.
He's just a big monkey, all right.
Right then, Neil, what's your number 5?
The Gremlins from Gremlins 1 and 2. The actual, the incarnation after Don't Feed Them at Midnight and Water. The creatures like Stripe and that, and especially in Gremlins 2 when they sort of interact with the camera and take you through the fourth wall. I think it's absolute genius.
Great films.
And just iconic little monsters, aren't they? And the fact that they're all practical effects as well is just wonderful. And it's a dark movie, the first one. People forget how dark that really was. I mean, I was taken to see it and I wasn't quite old enough because it was a 15, wasn't it, when it first came out? If you seem to remember. But do you remember all that bit when he talk about the Father Christmas and she tells the story of him coming down the chimney and everything like that? It's like, whoa, this is a kid's movie.
It's so dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
So dark. Because I only saw it for the first time because we did it for our Christmas special episode for last year, and that was the first time I'd seen it. And in my mind, it was going to be like this kind of silly, fun, all these cute little gremlins. They're just running around, being a bit mischievous or whatever. And I see it, and I was like, whoa, their dad's in the chimney. Freaking hell.
Yeah.
And what are they? Are they animals? Are they aliens? Like,
Oh.
what are they? Do you know what I mean?
We better go to that shop and ask him.
I know.
Ambiguous again. I like it when it's a bit ambiguous.
Yeah, and also the fact that you don't. They keep saying there's going to be a Gremlins 3 or something, but it's like you say, if they start making them CGI, it's just not the same. They're not going to
It won't
move
be.
the same, and it'll just be another one of those sort of remakes that just doesn't make any sense.
And of course, in the second movie, I love all the nods to all the other horror films, like your Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They have the pods, don't they? There in the thing, and all of those. It's really funny film. The second one. Second one's more lighthearted than the first one, and some great inventful deaths. That one in the microwave.
Yes,
great death.
Yeah. Okay. Right. My number 5 is Dracula. Mainly again, and I'll tell you, it's the Christopher Lee Dracula more than anything else.
Yeah.
Used to frighten the life out of me. Just seeing a picture, even just a still photograph. I don't think I've actually seen a Christopher Lee Dracula film, but
Really?
any picture of Christopher Lee as Dracula just gives me the willies. It just does.
Yeah, they're proper Hammer horror ones, aren't they? Those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gary Oldman was okay, and Leslie Nielsen was great in his version.
Bela Lugosi,
of course. So it's one of the classic monsters, I think. So I've gone for that. Right, number 4. Is it Alice or Josh? Alice. Okay.
I'll let Josh sort of chime in a little bit on this one, because this was kind of more his choice as well. But we've gone for Godzilla. For number 4. So obviously, like he is very iconic, isn't he? Like you can just kind of do the arms and people sort of know kind of know what it is that you're trying to do. But visually, I think he's very impressive in some of the later films as well. Like I think he's one that has kind of benefited from CGI. Like whereas there are some, like you say, with things like the Gremlins, like the Graboids, like the Xenomorph. It's the kind of the models and the puppet and that sort of that actual 3-dimensional life to it that makes it more engaging, which in turn makes it scarier. But with something like this, I think because he's so extreme and it's kind of like borderline fantasy, isn't it? With Godzilla, it's like that isn't something that you think ever would exist, sort of thing. So yeah, but you really wanted that one in, didn't you, Josh?
Yeah. So I think we was Godzilla. I keep saying he. It's neither he or she. It is
Mr. Godzilla to you.
It was one of the first like things that came to mind when you asked us to do the monsters. It was like Godzilla and King Kong were some of the first ones that came to my mind. Anyway, and a bit like I completely agree with what Alice is saying, which is Godzilla is one that has benefited from CGI. Like if you look at the 30s one, I think there's a nice bit of kitsch value to the King Kong one. Whereas the Godzilla one, it does look shit. Whereas I think the King Kong one, I don't know, I'd still watch it now. I think it's still good. I've got a soft spot for the one from the 90s with Matthew Broderick.
Okay.
I don't know why. Probably because of my age and stuff. But I've just got a soft spot for that one because it was that era when, for some reason, every blockbuster also got a kids' TV show.
Yeah,
so like Ghostbusters TV show, Dumb and Dumber TV show, The Mask TV show. Godzilla was another one where Godzilla had a big massive chin. Also, Deep Underground by Jamiroquai, that rare thing of a film song which is written from the character's point of view, the character being Godzilla. It's something I really enjoy. But yeah, I think it's just very iconic Godzilla. Also, quite like the idea that misunderstood. Just a big monster that's sort of ambling around, plodding about, too big to go anywhere, too big to go unnoticed, so sort of destroys cities by mistake, really.
But it's okay because he'll protect you from a giant moth.
Yeah, because there's a big moth or a metal version of him that exists for some reason.
Yeah. Have you seen Godzilla versus Kong?
The newest one?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the newest one. I think I've seen the oldest one. The older one.
Yeah, because I saw that, and it's that Mecha Godzilla spoilers shows up in that one, and
It just looks like, like in Transformers, where you go in, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
What's a building? What's a person? What's a car? It's all just a CGI blob. It's like
That's it.
that is why I might watch it one day, but until I can be bothered. It's like the end of Venom. It's like, a black CGI blob versus a black CGI blob.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
The thing with the fight at the end of that movie is that you think Thanos killed loads of people. They are smashing through like Hong Kong's, buildings and just like not giving a shit that there's people in there. It is crazy. Right, Neil, you're number 4.
Frankenstein's monster, Boris Karloff. One of my favorite movies. But what a great iconic cinematic monster. What else can we say? I think Boris Karloff
Universal
truly brought that to
monsters.
life. Yeah. I've not cared for the remakes much. De Niro as the monster was a bit weird.
What about the Aaron Eckhart one? I
Frankenstein, whatever it was called. Yeah. But he's a super. Yeah, we'll leave that one behind. But no, I think it's and The Bride of Frankenstein as well. Both great movies. If you've never watched them, I say get in there and enjoy and divulge yourself.
Did you ever see the Danny Boyle stage production?
I did.
That's unbelievable.
That is fantastic, isn't it? I watched both of them just to see how, and they're both amazing.
They're both brilliant, aren't they? Yeah, and Naomi Harris is in it as well, isn't she?
Yeah, she is actually.
But it's that's one of the best. I mean, I didn't go and see it live, but I went to see it at the cinema, and we went to see it on Halloween.
Oh, right.
And it was it's what a phenomenal piece of work that is.
Yeah. So, Alice, have you seen that?
I haven't, no, but I'm definitely intrigued. Danny Boyle.
Benedict Cumberbatch, Johnny Lee Miller. One plays the creature, one plays the monster. One plays the creature, one plays the creator, and then they swap every night.
Yeah, so each night they just swapped it around. What a lot to learn as well.
Well, during lockdown, they showed it on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they showed both versions. I don't know whether it's still on YouTube, but
on Amazon now.
Oh, is it
on Amazon Prime? Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
What's it called?
Frankenstein.
Just
Frankenstein.
It's
Thanks,
called
guys. Could have been there for a while.
Just monster. It says on the edge of the tape, monster or.
It says technically a zombie, but everyone says monster.
Yeah.
Dad,
you got to give me a lot of leash, guys.
Okay, right. My number 4 is Pennywise the Clown.
Ooh, which one?
I'm going for the Bill Skarsgård one.
Okay.
Because I do think he's just genuinely fucking creepy. And we went and saw both of those movies at the cinema. And I'm not a big horror fan, but if I can choose not to watch horror films at the cinema, I'll gladly not watch a horror film at the cinema. But the first It movie, 2017, was one of the best. It really shit me up. And it's very, very rarely that a horror film, I'll see where the scares are going to come, but I didn't with that one. I hadn't read the book. I hadn't seen the original TV miniseries with Tim Curry.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen, so I didn't know what was going to happen, and I was genuinely shocked in certain places. When they're showing the slides, and all of a sudden he starts coming out of the screen, and that, Jesus Christ, so that was a big one for me.
Creepy
indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Okay, number 3 for you guys.
So this is a big one for me. I was quite the way Alice. So what we didn't say back at 6 was I've never seen Insidious, but Alice really wanted that in, so we put it in. This is one I really wanted to put in, and it's Mike and Sully from Monsters Inc.
All right.
Okay.
Because I thought it's really important to include good monsters as well as evil ones. And they are good monsters. So I played with other ideas of the Fishman or Slimer or whatever. He's a ghost, isn't he? But of good monsters. But you gotta have Pixar in there, and for Pixar, it's Mike and Sully in it.
I would agree with that. I haven't put them in mine, but I would agree with that.
I think you're an idiot.
But
that's not what we asked for, Josh.
Because they are monsters. But
no, I completely agree.
And I love the way that film plays with monsters in the closet, and they're afraid of kids and all that sort of things. I think it's really, really important to acknowledge that not all monsters are bad.
Yeah, they're cute. They're floofy.
Yeah,
and sing a great song.
And sing a great song, indeed. Okay, Neil, you're number 3.
The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Ooh.
Fantastic movie. Probably
Classic.
again in my top 10, maybe. But all the practical effects in that movie. And that, the first time I watched that, I was only about 12, and that truly shit me up.
Alice's dad
I
showed
don't
you.
think I stayed with it, but at the time. But it hasn't, to me, it hasn't dated. It's still
No, it's like
that
Terminator 2,
paranoia.
isn't it?
Yeah. It's just fantastic. The whole, from start to finish.
And the thing is, like, Alice's dad could write "thing" on the end of the video.
The one time he got it right.
Get
it
Well done,
right.
Rog.
The
It's
thing,
great.
the thing nearly made it into ours as well.
I did, yeah. We did discuss that. I think there's like obviously we've touched on it so much already, but there is really something to be said about the practical effects and just it is something that you can still because CGI just changes so quickly. Like from year to year, you're seeing like these vast improvements. Then when you want to go back and watch something that's like 10, 20 years old and it's like, bloody hell, this looks rubbish. And then that just throws you out of the world. And it's like, oh, well, when I watched this when I was a kid, why was I so scared? Why was I so engaged? And it's like, well, because at that point, that was the best thing you'd ever seen. And now you've got 20 years of other things. But when it's practical, it's just so much better. And I feel like, I don't know if we're losing that a little bit in modern cinema. I don't know.
think so. I always think CGI looks dead. There's no life to it, is there?
No.
Not really.
No, I think when it comes to things like blood and stuff in movies now, you know that it's not.
Yeah.
So you know that it's not real anyway because it's a movie. But when it's blood bags and stuff like that, like back in the 80s and 70s, it looks more real. Whereas like CGI just, it's great that you can now think of anything, imagine anything, and you can put it up on the screen. That's great, but it comes at a price, I think, when it comes to movies. My number 3 is amazingly The Thing by Kurt Russell.
So cute, aren't you?
Kurt Russell and John Carpenter. Yeah, and Neil has basically said anything. The didn't they use an amputee to do that bit?
Yeah, the bit with the chest and it bit his arms off.
Yeah, and when the head starts sliding down the side of the table and that,
spider legs.
Yeah. Anything
bit.
with spider legs is horrific. It doesn't matter what it is,
And it's got a brilliant jump scare in that movie. The bit with the blood.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it before, and they're putting the hot and the blood, it's a great jump.
Yeah, and a great ending as well. Like another one of those ambiguous endings.
Yeah.
You don't know what's happening. They just sat there looking at each other. Okay, right. Number 2.
You take this one, Josh.
So number 2 is Frankenstein. Yeah, Frankenstein's monster. So again, very classic. Like you say, you think back to Universal horror, Boris Karloff, the bolts in the neck, the green, the pitchforks, all that. Been remaked a million times, sometimes good, sometimes bad. I think you mentioned it. I have a bit of a soft spot for the De Niro one. I don't know why. I just do. I know it's a faithful telling, or a more faithful telling of the book, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not like a traditional horror, when he kidnaps a woman and all that sort of stuff. It's actually just a telling of the book. But no, Frankenstein again. Thinking moving monsters, Frankenstein's monsters up there, isn't it? And we think of that classic image.
Yep. Right from the electrodes coming down.
Yeah, it's alive and all that.
Oh yeah, Neil, you're number 2.
American Werewolf in London.
Ooh.
The werewolf in that, the practical effects of the change for one, and again, it's one of those movies that will shit you up and then make you laugh in the next breath. I mean, I was always scared of the dream. The one when he runs through the woods and he keeps seeing himself, and then he sees himself in bed, and then that bit always, and that still makes the hairs on the back of my neck go.
Yeah.
But what a perfect movie! 90 minutes long, not a dull spot in it. Yeah, I think that's near on a perfect movie. That one.
Loads of little hidden bits. The see you next Friday, see you next Wednesday.
Bits
and stuff.
Yeah, and Rick Mayall, of course.
Rick Mayall.
The late great Rick Mayall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
you
one.
You made me miss.
That's a good one.
Sorry, go on.
No, you'll carry on.
I was just saying, I wasn't sure. We were talking about this yesterday because I wasn't sure about werewolves. I was like, is it an animal? Or is it a monster? And then in the end, we just decided to just not include a werewolf because we weren't sure. But there's so many great ones. The best one being American Werewolf in London.
Yeah,
I think that is still the best werewolf movie out now.
Yeah.
I mean, The Howling is okay, but some of the effects in that are a bit rubbish.
What about Wolf with Jack Nicholson?
Oh, fuck off.
what about the Wolfman with Benicio del Toro?
Exactly.
Actually, we sort of met the guy that stood in for the wolf in that movie. Spencer Wilding played the wolf.
Did he?
Yeah. You met him. You interviewed him.
he nearly kicked me in the face, didn't he, Neil?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
that
he
was
nearly
quite
kicked
funny.
me in the face.
That's why you
funny.
don't remember him telling you about the wolf.
No, that's true.
Did you slag off his film or something?
No. We were on stage doing a Q&A at a Comic-Con, a local Comic-Con, and he said that he could do like one of these like reverse swing kicks. And before I knew what he was doing, he actually did a reverse swing and literally brushed my nose with this soul. If I'd have gone, what was that, mate? Like that, I would probably still be asleep now because he was he's like 6'7". 6'7". He also played Darth Vader in the Rogue One. He was one of the guys that. But yeah, everybody.
And he's in. You might know him from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yes,
he was the blue guy with the headphones.
Is it the Welsh? Is it the Welsh guy?
Yeah.
Is it the guy from North Wales?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. But yeah, my dad knows him somehow.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
He's a lovely guy. Lovely guy.
I love the fact that you went and he said I could do this spring kick. And before I knew it, he was doing it. He's basically gone, I can do a spring kick. Watch. Like
he didn't sort of go, right, if everybody just stand back a little bit, I'll just you all right there? Yeah, just stay there. Don't it was just literally, oh, can you do this? Oh, Jesus.
It's not, you didn't even do that Graham Norton thing of being like, so I believe you did I believe you did some circus skills, and then going, oh yeah. Who told you that? A researcher. You told the researcher. Got some Diablos here for you. Oh,
I still shudder at that thought because I thought, my God, I would be dead if he'd have really connected. Or
think of the money I'd have got off of all the streams.
Oh yeah, you'd have. yeah. Anyway, my number 2 is from a film that I've never seen. It's The Darkness from Legend, which is Tim Curry.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie because just watching a clip of him doing that, the devil, I suppose it's supposed to be, or whatever, frightens the shit out of me. There's a GIF or a GIF, whatever you call it, and it's him. It's what is it? What is it, Josh? Go on, you're young.
A GIF or a GIF, whatever the kids call it.
Yeah, whatever the kids call it. I don't know. You youngsters, I don't know. Is it a Giphy or a Jiffy?
Moving photograph.
I think it's it. You get them on the internet.
Right. It's one of these little clips of tape that they play on the internet. And it's just him laughing. And it is the fucking scariest thing I've ever seen. So I'm sure the film's really good, but I'll never watch it.
Oh, well, we'll question that.
I'll never watch it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
It's quite boring. It's Ridley Scott.
Tom Cruise, Ridley Scott. Yeah. But yeah, maybe that is the best part of the movie. I don't know.
It is.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. That's fair enough.
You said Legend. I was like, the Cray twins? They're scary. They're kind of like monstrous, I suppose.
Oh, dear. Oh, bless your heart. Right. So we've done our 10 to 2. So if Josh and Alice, if you want to give us a rundown of your 10 to number 2.
Sure. After you,
Alex.
This is going to be fun.
No, we'll do it.
Do we
do it alternatively, starting with you?
Okay, go on. Number 10, Graboids.
At number 9, Thanos.
Number 8, Monster Sharks.
Number 7, the Xenomorph.
Number 6, the Darth Maul looking thing from Insidious.
Number 5, King Kong.
Number 4, Godzilla.
Number 3, Mike and Sully.
Number 2, it's Frankenstein.
Monster. Well done. Neil, what's your 10 to 2?
So we got Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors at number 10. Number 9, The Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth. You need to watch that, Alice.
Okay, it's on my list.
Xenomorph from Alien. Number 7, King Kong, the original 1933 one. Number 6, Medusa from Clash of the Titans 1980. Then number 5, The Gremlins from 1 and 2. Number 4, Frankenstein's Monster, Boris Karloff. Number 3, The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. And number 2, The Werewolf from American Werewolf in London.
Okay, and my number 10 is a Sarlacc from Return of the Jedi, butthole with teeth. 9, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. 8, Talos from Jason and the Argonauts. 7, the Werewolf from American Werewolf in London. 6, Medusa from Clash of the Titans. 5, Dracula. 4, Pennywise the Clown from It. 3, The Thing. 2, The Darkness from Legend. So, Josh and Alice, what is your number 1 movie monster?
Bring us home, Alice.
This feels like a bit of an anticlimax because he's already had a mention, but we went with Dracula for number 1. So he's interesting in himself as a monster because obviously he used to be a man. So obviously that's interesting. That sort of adds a new level to him. He's equally sort of kind of terrifying and menacing, but then also quite like seductive. And there's something he's got like quite a sexual air about him, and he's always dead stylish and wearing like dead cool outfits. And then from him, you just kind of think then of pretty much all the vampire films and all the vampire content that we've had since then, and kind of how sort of broad that kind of character and those sort of monsters are. But yeah, Dracula number 1. I think we're happy with our choice.
Absolutely.
If we had to pin you down to which movie incarnation it would be, which one would you go for?
So I like the one in Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But also the OG, Nosferatu from like 1920.
Max Schreck
or whatever that was from.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's good because that's quite terrifying. I've got a real soft spot for kind of like silent cinema and those really, really early films. And that's terrifying. I think he's done a really good job in there.
Completely agree. That creature design of Nosferatu is absolutely terrifying. Yeah. Josh, what's your go-to Dracula?
I'd say the Gerard Butler one from Dracula 2000. No, not really. The one where he's Judas Iscariot. Look it up. That's an actual thing, by the way. Spoilers for that film. I would say the Bela Lugosi one. I'd be tempted to say Christopher Lee. I really would, but I think without Bela Lugosi, there is no Christopher Lee. The swept-back hair, the big collar, the big cloak. So I've got to give it to Bela.
And the ability not to blink. If you watch that 1930s one, he doesn't blink at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't they just CGI his eyelids out?
He just had 2 half table tennis balls.
It's just a photo of some eyes over
Right, Neil, you're number 1.
Is Bruce Jaws himself. The shark. What a classic monster, and a proof that less is more as well.
Absolutely.
The fact that when you read about the making of it, they couldn't work out the technology to actually show him more, so they decided to not do it till the end. Paid dividends, didn't it? Teased you all the way, which is what I found weird. People moaning about going back to Godzilla, the remake of Godzilla, where they didn't show you, they kept teasing you and pulling away. Everybody moaned about, but with Jaws they didn't. So
less is more. You're right.
Want it all now, don't they? Want it all.
I think it's the way you do it, though. I think it's the way it's shot, the way you do it. Well, my number 1 has been mentioned by everybody, and I'm surprised how low it was in everybody's scores, is the Xenomorph. I just think it's a perfect villain. The whole thing about less is more, he, she, it, they, appear for 4 minutes in the original movie. So it's like, but it is one of the most scariest. Again, I think it's the way that it's filmed, the way that it's shot, the way it's directed, the way it's written. I don't think it was as scary in any of the other movies apart from the first one. A friend of mine at work, Mel, gave me this essay to read by Jason Hegstrom from 2012, Reassessing Aliens, Sexuality and the Anxieties of Men, where they've gone through Alien, showing all these different things about how it shows the power of women and how all these different symbolistic things of walking through tunnels means going through ladies' parts, and and how the face hugger is like a woman's vagina, and it'd be like any. Sorry, when I say a woman's vagina, like a vagina. I don't know why I wrote woman's vagina on there. That doesn't make any sense.
Could have been a monkey's, I suppose.
But like
whales.
Yeah, or I don't know why I wrote that. That doesn't make any sense. And Ash and Ripley, when they're fighting, he's ramming something down her throat to kill her, and he's covered in like white creamy stuff and she's covered in blood. I mean, I read it and there's some bits that you think, okay, all right, that's a little bit far-fetched, but there's some bits of it. The one bit that really got me is that obviously Ripley at the end of the movie, spoilers if you've never seen 1979 Alien, but she's in the sleeping pod or whatever it is, and they equate it to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That there's 7 other people in the ship, and she's now asleep waiting for the kiss from the prince.
Well, apart from me and Home being a hobbit, I can't think of the others being small.
Well, no, but that doesn't mean that they're small. But
right.
There's 7 other people. I mean,
okay.
I'm going to put a link to the essay in the show notes. So if people want to read it, then I was reading it during my dinner time today, thinking that's a really good point. Oh, that's fucking ridiculous. That's a really good point. Like all the way through it. So it was. So thanks, Mel, for that. I know that she'll be listening. So thank you.
Thanks, Mel.
Yeah, well done, Mel.
Yeah, we'll all thank you, Mel.
Cheers for making me watch Alien.
I did say to her, I'm going to watch it again.
Off my face.
Words that I've never said before in my life. I've never said that, but it's like I will look at it in a different light because of these different sort of little things that are in the essay. So, it's nice to watch a film with a different angle, different attitude. Anyway, that's everybody's top 10. Thank you so much. Were there any honorable mentions that you left out? Because I didn't have Jaws, I didn't have Godzilla, I didn't have King Kong, some of like the big main ones. I just didn't find any space for them. Did any honorable mentions?
We've got a few. Alice, do you want to do those?
We mentioned a few of them already. One of them, I think I mentioned previously. Obviously, Terminator 2 is my favorite film, and just the Terminator. But we weren't sure with that because it's like, sort of, how do you categorize it? Like, is a robot a monster? And it's like, well, they do monstrous things, and they've got like monstrous intents. And Arnie's pretty fucking scary when he's staring you down with his like enormous freaking machine gun on his motorbike and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely honorable mention for Terminator. And then the others we mentioned, didn't we? So we had The Thing, we had The Fishman, Gremlins, obviously you mentioned. And then Josh put 2 others down. Josh put a little cute one down.
I put the one that's not cute. I put The Kraken from Clash of the Titans because it's a classic. And then the other one I put, which was the other, when I was thinking about Mike and Sully, I put the BFG.
That makes sense.
Because he's a good monster, but I don't think there's been a film good enough. If it was literary, I'd probably say the BFG, but the film is all right. So it's not a patch on the other ones, though, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
You're not a fan of the cartoon? Wasn't that David Jason did the voice?
Yeah. Is it a full-length film, though? Is it not like the Snowman? Is it like half an hour?
Remember, to be honest.
I always thought it was full. I always thought it was full length.
Because there's a Lord of the Rings as well, isn't it? There's a Lord of the Rings as well.
That's pretty diabolical. That is.
Yeah.
Did you know the Beatles were originally going to do Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Yeah. They all wanted to play the Hobbits, didn't they?
What do you mean? Really?
They were going to try and make the movie Lord of the Rings and play the Hobbits themselves.
Is there a joke coming here? It's like a
no. It's genuinely true.
Yeah, I think it was the animated one, Neil. I think they were going to.
Was it the animated they were going to do?
I think it was. I
remember.
I think
because they weren't they all meant to be the voices of the vultures in the Jungle Book film?
That's what they based it on. Yeah.
And they ended up not doing it.
So there's just 4 scouse vultures with
in the jungle in where Africa. It's like we'll have Scouse accents. Why not?
Yeah,
Beatles haircuts.
Oh dear. One thing I was surprised that nobody said Predator, which I thought was one that, or Brundlefly was the one that I very, very nearly put in.
Yeah, I nearly put that here
because The Fly was another one of those movies
that
was fantastic, a great movie.
Yeah,
still is.
Yeah. And the T-Rex from Jurassic Park was another one.
I think we just thought animal.
I didn't even think. I didn't even consider him as a monster. I guess if you looking at more of the kind of the recent iterations of Jurassic Park, so like Jurassic World, maybe them a bit more because they're kind of like they're sort of like monstrous hybrids, aren't they? That would exist kind of in the natural world. I just didn't really think about it in the first one, but I love Jurassic Park. First one.
I do.
It's nearly 30 years old now as well.
And
How
again,
scary is
that one holds up. The special effects in that just
Yeah.
hold up all the time.
But the other mention I was going to say was the crawlers from The Descent. That was the other one.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're creepy as.
Yeah, but see, that's a fucked up movie anyway because there's potholing and that in it. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough to get my teeth on edge just to think of people squeezing into tight places.
And watch it again and then think it's only her that sees the monsters. It's all in her imagination.
Spoilers, Neil, for fuck's sake.
Well, that's not. Some people don't. Don't see it.
I was trying to get in another one. I was trying to get in on of you. The other podcast was Flubber from the movie Flubber, but I couldn't. I just couldn't do it.
Well,
could have had Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
Well done. Or Shrek. Shrek would have been a good one.
Someone
Great
pointed
idea.
out to me today that Han Solo and Shrek wear the same clothes, and it's like ruined so much of it for
Oh
me.
my
Oh,
god, I
yeah.
can't
Just-
think of that. That's
Dressed the same. They both wear a white thing. and
Oh
a
my
brown
God.
waistcoat.
Apart from Han Solo doesn't have those cut off sort of jeans,
Yeah.
does he? I can't
I
remember.
don't know.
I don't know. Oh my god. Stu Grant gave us a couple of his ones. Michael Myers.
Yeah, but
Killer-
he's human though, isn't he?
Yeah.
So-
Killer Clowns. Freddy Krueger, which is also human. Candyman, human. Evil Ash, human. Bud. Cujo. There's a
Okay,
dog.
the dog.
Doggy.
Yeah.
Not particularly terrifying though, was he?
No, I don't know.
I don't know. If you watched that film, I just felt like if she'd have chucked something out the window, like a bone or something, or a bit of bacon, she'd have been fine.
End of film.
Yeah.
Solve the problem.
Yeah. The tall man, Pinhead, and Stripe, which
Oh,
Stripe I'm assuming is-
Pinhead's a good one, isn't it?
Stripes
Yeah.
Gremlins, isn't it?
Stripe
Pinhead-
Gremlins,
Yeah,
yeah.
Gremlins. But
Pinhead
Pinhead,
Hellraiser, right? Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, they're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
all the Xenobites and that. Oh yeah,
Jason,
creepy as.
Jason again. There's your person, really. Jason.
Mm.
Yeah.
Friday the
Oof.
13th.
I
What
think
about the
we've got.
crocodile from Lake Placid? Was that like a genetically enhanced, or was that just a
It was
normal
just a
crocodile?
giant alligator or crocodile,
Alligator.
wasn't it?
Oh, sorry, I'm not sure which
well,
one.
whichever it was, but
Which
they
one?
and it was nice to see they didn't kill it at the end. I always think that's really
Yeah.
good in that movie.
Spoilers, Neil. Jesus Christ. That's
Well, if
two
you haven't
movies
watched
you've
it,
warned
get on
ruined.
with your
people.
life.
You keep ruining the movies for people that are listening.
Well, if they haven't watched it, get a life.
Now you're having a go at our listeners.
Yes,
For Christ's
get on
sake.
and watch these films for Christ's sake. Catch up with us.
Anyway, that's our top tens. Neil, do you want to tell everybody how they can get in touch with us, please?
No.
Without spoiling anything.
Of course, you can find us on all the social media. Top 10 pods. That's TOPTEN pods. Email us at top10pods@hotmail.com. And you can come and help support the podcast at patreon.com/top10pods, where you can get rewards such as our episodes super early, bonus episodes, behind the scenes videos, and even a chance to be a guest on your own episode. And then check out all of our links via Linktree, and you can find the link in the show notes. And please come and subscribe and leave us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, or subscribe and follow on Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Beautifully done, Neil. Okay. So you guys, what you got coming up for your podcast? Anything that you can tell us about, or are they all
Oh,
sort
go
of
on,
like
Josh.
What have we got coming up, Alice?
Ned. Well, hang on. When's this
Yeah.
coming out?
Well, this is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks' time. So
Mm.
So yesterday we recorded an episode on 1 Hour Photo, which is a Robin Williams film, because I think that's underrated.
It's a great movie.
Got Frank as well.
Frank
Michael
is coming up.
Fassbender.
Yeah, that was one of your picks, wasn't it, Alice?
Mhm.
We got an email from a guy who suggested we take listener suggestions, and we got an email from a guy who was absolutely adamant he really wanted to watch this film from 1988 called The Beast with Jason Patrick. So
Okay.
that's our next listener suggestion. We are going to do some classic films too next. It's Alice is going to pick a classic film soon, but I don't know what because we haven't got to it yet.
Mm.
We have a couple of great guests in the pipeline, but you'll have to wait and see. Some of them might be here. Who knows?
Yay!
We will take what we can get. No, yeah. So what else have we got coming up, Alice?
We've got the Lindsay Lohan classic, Just My
Christ,
Luck. You'll all be
about
very
that.
excited to know.
Oh God, I
Chris
forgot.
Pine in.
I
Was
forgot.
that the one
Yeah,
with Chris Pine, yeah.
I forgot you made me watch that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's tried to forget that terrible memory.
I'll tell you what we are really excited about. We've got Alice. Tell them about a certain sequel you've picked that's coming up.
Oh my gosh, guys, have you seen Grease 2?
a long time ago.
I
yeah.
refuse to watch that because I love Grease 1 so much.
Oh, let me tell you, if you like Grease 1, you'll flipping hate Grease 2. Grease 2, oh, I absolutely love it. I think I make a pretty good case for it as well. It's got good redeemable qualities, and the songs are banging.
You made a good case for Speed 2 as well, to be fair.
I do. I love a sequel.
You
I love a shitty sequel.
You love a bad Louis
I
sequel,
do.
Speed 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speed
Wow.
being the operative word on a boat going 10 knots an hour.
This is what Josh just said. He was like, "Where's the peril? Where is it?"
Can't turn. It can't turn.
No,
so
and-
anything in the way.
And you got Willem Dafoe being sort of batshit crazy as well.
Totally crazy.
Willem Dafoe doing the Joker because he never got the job until they gave him Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Exactly. So do you want to tell everybody where they can find all your stuff?
Yeah, Alice, off you go.
Oh, you're joking? You're the social media guy. You've got it memorized up here. Take it away.
Sure. So we're on all the social medias: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Instagram and Twitter are the main ones. We like to put out plenty of film-related content, jokes, stuff about the episodes, whatever you like, really. Well, not whatever you like, whatever we like. That's the point. It's Just Films and That Pod. You can get in touch with us, Just Films and That, but filmsandthatpod@gmail.com. Yeah, drop us a message if you've got a film. Please do come over and listen.
We will put all the information in the show notes, so all you need to do is click away if they want to get in touch with you and that. Josh, Alice, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Thank you for being guests.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you so much for having us. That was a lot of fun.
Good. That's all we need. Just as long as everybody leaves with a smile in their face and a thrill in their heart
and a vagina on their face.
Hey! Then it's a job done. Then we've done our job, if that's the case. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you very much, Pav.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you, Pav.
Thank you. Now let's get the countdown started. Whatever it is.
10,